Well, like I said, it is sequel week leading up to Halloween Ends, and last year I reviewed Return of the Living Dead, and so I'm going to review Part 2, which, yes, I am wearing the exact same thing I wore in that first video a year ago. And by the way, this movie has a 5% Rotten Tomatoes.
That will be carried to the grave as the horror classic is reborn. Return of the Living Dead, Part 2.
Released in 1988, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is a movie that I actually kind of grew up with being scared of, because that first movie, even though it's very funny, a little bit unsettling, but very goofy, I love that first movie. With this movie, the poster got me as a kid. I think I had this on VHS, maybe. I'm not really sure, but either way, this cover actually creeped me out as a kid. And then I remember watching this movie on TV, and I've always been a little bit creeped out of zombies as a kid. I love them now, but as a kid, they very much creeped me out because I was like, what if they come to life? What if it's running zombies? I'm screwed kind of deal. But with this movie, seeing a kid zombie as a kid kind of affected me, because I was like, okay, I am a child, that child is a zombie, so that means I can become a zombie. That's how my brain worked back then. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this movie currently has a 5% Rotten Tomatoes. This movie is just rotten everywhere. Every review I have seen for this movie, everyone just hates it. And like I said, I grew up kind of creeped out of it, but watching it tonight on Blu-ray, I can really tell you this is a complete downgrade of a movie compared to the first one. Let me just say this. It is cheesy, but it's too cheesy. The first one had enough blood and guts and gore to make it spooky feeling and actual danger in the first movie, honestly. And then there were just funny gags throughout the entire movie. This movie, there is no creepiness, there is no scariness. All it is goofy, and it's very goofy. Sometimes it makes me chuckle, I can't lie to you. Seeing a bully turn into a zombie and then chomp on his mom with the worst crunch sound ever, it's actually pretty great to hear and watch. But then again, you have this group of people running around just being complete idiots. Like this main boy, I mean, seriously, he is just a main boy to be a main boy. And then we have our boyfriend and girlfriend running out with a gun that don't know how to use it. And then we have an old man that is just being an old man. Like, seriously, this movie is just very much a downgrade. But the reason why I chose to review it is because, like I said, I grew up kind of fearing the zombie aspect. But then I looked at the zombies today, I was like, man, the makeup effects, they're not even as good as in the first one. Watching this movie tonight, I was like, man, I can clearly tell that every zombie in this movie is wearing makeup, and that is like the biggest like downgrade. I'm like, man, I can tell you're wearing makeup. I've seen zombie movies that are cheaper than this, and they look amazing, and I'm just sitting here like, you could have been better. Overall though, for an hour-and-a-half movie, it has its fun moments, and as a kid, it was kind of an adventure, scary movie that really intrigued me because, again, it's got a kid aspect, being bullied, them releasing the smoke, even though it's very much a very cheesy, smoke goes in the cemetery, and then they all come to life, and they're eating the entire neighborhood, and then we see zombies literally drive a car around and talk and say brains, and it's cheesy. It's Return of the Living Dead Part 2. It's not a good movie, and the only reason I reviewed this movie is because I grew up with this movie in a very weird way, being scared of kid zombies. But hey, I've now reviewed the first two Return of the Living Deads 2 years in a row. I never want to watch any other movies in this franchise. I'm going to give Return of the Living Dead Part 2 a D+. It makes me very disappointed that I chose to watch and review this and use this as one of my Halloween reviews. But I figured I reviewed the first one, and now I'm doing sequel week. Why not review this one? But you know, silly old me trying to live my childhood, and it just didn't work out watching this movie. Anyway, guys enjoy this movie review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.